What is up, guys? Anthony here, back with another Revive the Witch video here on the channel. So in today's Revive the Witch video, we are going to be giving you guys some tips here. Of course, beginner tips for Revive the Witch that I have gathered so far for myself. So I have been playing the game since launch and have been pretty lucky with my team and have had a ton of fun. So did want to give you guys some knowledge that I have gathered so far throughout Revive the Witch, and of course hopefully it does help you guys out in your grind here on Revive the Witch. So make sure to let me know in the comment section below if it does help you out. And yeah, let's get started here with the first tip. So first of all, everyone, I did want to discuss a bit here the formation. Now we do have some here buffs, of course, depending on your roster here for your formation. Of course, as you can all see here, we do have this small icon. So if you do click on it, we do have some information here. As for the buff effect, depending on your roster, you can receive certain buffs. We do have deployed dolls are all of the same elements. Team health, attack, and defense all plus 10%. So this is a pretty significant perk here if you do have all of these same elements here deployed on the field. As you can see, all of my units here are of the same elements, so I do receive this buff effect, but I don't receive the second here. As for the second, we do have deployed dolls and all backup are all of the same elements. So we do have team health, attack, and defense all plus 15%. So if you do run a mono type team here in Revive the Witch, you will receive the buff effect of plus 15 to all team health, attack, and defense for your allies. So my back row isn't necessarily all of the same elements of my front line, so we are only receiving the health, attack, and defense buff here of 10%. So something to keep in mind when building your roster. Depending on your team, you can try and prioritize the buff here of team health, attack, and defense all plus 15%. Of course, it may be a little bit rough as we are just starting out in Revive the Witch. Game hasn't been out for too long, but depending on your units, maybe you don't mind running some of the lesser rarity characters such as the SR and rares, then you can try and apply the buff here to your team. Of course, running the mono type team, SR characters are pretty valuable as they are low cost and very easy to obtain. Of course, can be very strong as I have experienced in PvP already. The SR characters can be very nice for your roster. So if you guys would like to invest in some of those lower class characters and receive the huge buff here of deployed dolls and backup dolls are at team health, attack, and defense all plus 15%, then you can try and prioritize the mono type lineup. But for myself, I did decide to go with the first buff here of 3 units of the same elements, and then the backline I did just put my stronger of the bunch just in case they do die. Next up here, everyone, I do have a story tip here for your stamina. So a way to save some stamina here in the story adventure side of the game. Of course, you do want to avoid enemies. So if you do avoid enemies here in the adventure side of the game, you will actually save and be reimbursed some stamina. So I'll try and save some enemies here on the stage if we do have some available. Now let's check this out in the next scene. I do believe we can actually avoid this enemy here, possibly. As you can see, we did avoid this one here. So upon completing the stage, we will be reimbursed some stamina. So let's check out the final stage here. Of course, we cannot avoid this one. It's pretty hard to actually avoid all of the enemies as some of the areas are pretty tightly closed out, so you can't avoid the enemies. They are pretty fast and do chase you down, but let's clear up this battle fairly quickly here. As you can see, a Fallen, like I was mentioning earlier, is a very important tank. She does have immortality there and a shield, so very strong, and we do have a nice backline there of the healer as well as my second UR here. So doing pretty nice there for the team. And yeah, let's move on. As you can see, we did dodge an enemy already. Now we continue here. We can actually dodge this one. When it is more of the wider area, you can dodge them pretty easily here. Just try and stay close towards the wall so they don't notice you. As you can see, we did dodge the one there, and we can dodge this one as well. Don't go towards the bottom, of course. You want to try and stay here towards the wall of the trees. And there you go, we do have finished exploring the current area. And we do have here, there are some living monsters left during this exploration. 14 stamina will be returned, so that's pretty huge here. As you can see, the 14 was returned of the initial cost of 20 stamina, so you did only toss in 6 stamina for the stage here, so pretty important. Try and avoid enemies here at all costs in the adventure mode. I know you may think the experience may be worth fighting all of the enemies, but actually the experience is fairly low in the adventure side of the game, as you will notice with eventually ascending your characters, etc. So you will want to avoid as many enemies as possible in the adventure side of the game so you can receive some stamina back. Of course, the story is very stamina heavy. We do have the stamina cost here of 3-6 being 20, so it's very highly cost for the stamina. And as you can see, for myself being only level 12, I do believe I have a stamina cap of under 100 still, so 91 stamina cap there, and pretty high cost there for 20 per stage, and this is only on area 3. So I could imagine the higher story chapters maybe being more stamina heavy. As you can see, for the second here, we do have 16 being the highest, so could expect the final one here to be about 24 stamina or even more. So try and save as much stamina as possible with avoiding those enemies in the adventure mode, and it will save you a ton of the stamina, and of course overall allow you to play the game way longer if you don't have any more of the stamina refreshes. Moving on to the Witch's Courtyard here, we do have the third tip of the video here. So did want to touch on the Witch's Courtyard a little bit, as of course there's a ton of content here. You may be a little bit confused. After diving into it a little bit more, I do understand it's a bit. Now we do have upgrades here in the magic tree. Of course, you can upgrade your little areas here. We do have the upgrades of the cottage, Mirror of the Otherworld, as well as the fluorescence villa. And we also do have here the alchemy lab, as well as the music box here. I don't have it unlocked for now, but did want to discuss upgrades. Now upgrades do cost blue light. Now blue light is fairly difficult to obtain comparing it to the white light here, and I will show you guys how to obtain more blue lights here in the Witch Courtyard so you guys can upgrade your buildings accordingly. Now as you can see, we did finish some upgrades there, and my blue light is fairly low, so I do want to obtain more blue light. As you can see, we do have the firefly lamp stand here, so this is where you can dispatch fireflies to collect the blue or white light depending on your need. So currently I do need blue lights for my upgrades. As you can see, we do have 15 fireflies dispatched for blue light. Now you can recall the fireflies if you do need so, and you can dispatch them for white light if you do need some, as well as you can split the fireflies depending on your need as well. Now maybe you do want to obtain white light and blue light all together, so you can try and split your fireflies accordingly. As you can see, you can recall all of them. We did recall the 15 fireflies, and if I do want to split them here, we can dispatch some of them here for the white light here as well. As you can see, we did dispatch 3 of them here to obtain white light, and we can dispatch some of them here for blue light. Now blue light is more cost heavy. As you can see, it does cost 3 fireflies to be dispatched for blue light, and only 1 here for the white light. So at a cap of 15 fireflies now, I can only deploy a maximum of 12 here for the blue light, and of course 3 for the white light. So something to keep an eye on there. Of course, depending on your needs, you may want to try and obtain more blue lights comparing to the white light. Now for myself, I do want to upgrade the buildings, so I will try and leave all of my fireflies to collect blue light. As you can see the rates here as well towards the top left hand side of the screen, we do have the +5 blue lights every minute. We also do have here a certain light here as well. I do believe this is the chromatic light here if you do level up your firefly lampstand, which you can obtain as well. So maybe the chromatic is needed for a certain upgrade as well, but we'll have to wait and see, as I haven't upgraded my firefly lampstand just yet. But just wanted to explain the lampstand a little bit more here. Now we do have some other tips here as well. In the cottage, we do have here the units here that you can leave into your cottage for their satisfaction to be recovered. Now we do have some of my units here already. As you can see, you can decorate your cottage here, and you can unlock multiple floors here as well upon leveling up the cottage. Now my cottage did just reach level 2. As you've seen, we did unlock the second floor here, so we do have the dolls here that can be employed. Now we do have here 0 out of 10 happiness here for some of my units. Now upon using the units in certain areas of the magic tree, their energy will be depleted. So we do have 0 out of 10 here for the energy, so you will want to toss them into the cottage here to replenish the energy. We do have a rate here of 0.8 energy, I do believe, per hour, so you will want to leave them here. And of course you can decorate the cottage as well, as I do believe it does increase the energy per hour here rate. As you can see, for my first one here, we do have a comfort level of 120 and the 1.4 energy per hour rates here for the first level. And once we do reach the second, since it does seem to be uncomfortable for the units, we do have 0.8 per hour. So something to keep in mind as well, as you are using the units in the magic tree, they will be depleted of energy, so toss them into the cottage here as soon as possible. And of course try and upgrade it as well, so you can obtain at least the second floor here and have 2 units regenerating energy at the same time. Alright everyone, so after going over a few tips there in the magic tree, we do have some tips here for summoning as well. So we do have the awakening summoning here, which does have a discount. So if you do want to go for a certain unit, I do believe that the unit here has been very sought after in the Revive the Witch Discord, so a ton have been summoning for her, so definitely go for the discount multi-summon. But after doing so, don't go for necessarily multi-summons, as of course the multi-summons don't guarantee any unit, so they don't guarantee a certain rarity, such as other gachas may guarantee a SSR, etc. The Revive the Witch gacha here does not guarantee a certain rarity for a multi-summon. So what I am saying is basically to just do single summons. If you do single summons, you will of course only use a single summon when a multi-summon does use 10 summons. So maybe you will reach the UR pool in a lower amount of summons, comparing to a multi-summon where you do have to use 10 rolls. So definitely prioritize single summons in Revive the Witch for now. I'm not sure if they'll change this anytime in the future, as of course the multi-summon has no guarantee. So why do a multi-summon when you can just do single summons and possibly obtain the UR sooner and just save some summons for the future? Of course, for myself, I haven't been prioritizing this unit, but if I were to, I would just do straight up single summons and save my multi-summons for a future character. Now we do have a ton of currency saved, so I will be saving it for the next banner, but I just did want to give you guys a small tip there. As the multi-summon doesn't guarantee any rarity, you might as well just go for the single summons and try and save some summons if you are going for a certain UR character. Hopefully you guys can pull the units early on, and a single summon will help you do so, as of course it's all of the same rates. The multi-summon doesn't guarantee any certain rarity, so you might as well just opt into those single summons rather than a multi-summon that doesn't guarantee a certain rarity of units. As for the final tip of the video, everyone, I did want to touch back more towards the units. As you can see, we are here towards the team formation, but we'll be going towards the doll side of the game here. As you can see, all of my units. Now, I did want to touch on ascending your characters. Now, you do want to, of course, prioritize Ascension, as you will see the wall of the adventure side of the game does hit pretty hard sometimes. You will want to, of course, ascend your characters when you can and prioritize this, as it will be essential into further exploring the adventure side of the game. Now, for myself, I did ascend a few of the characters to Ascension 2. Actually, my full roster here is fully Ascension 2, but we are still continuing to leveling up the units. Of course, as you can see, we do have level 40 of 60 here for my 2 UR characters, and we are still working on leveling up the rest here. But you do want to prioritize Ascension, as of course the stat boosts here are pretty significant. Now, we do have here the Ascension here for Gorvig. As you can see, upon ascending her here, we do have health plus 40%, attack plus 25%, physical defense and magic defense plus 25% as well. So pretty huge buffs here upon ascending your characters. So Ascension is very, very important, so definitely prioritize this as well. We do have a Fallen here. The Ascension does apply health plus 40%, attack plus 25%, and physical as well as magic defense plus 17%. So this is huge here for a tank character such as a Fallen there. She does receive a ton of defense stats. We also do have here the Ascension stats here for my healer. As you can see, health plus 40%. Now, the skill here for herself actually does direct all enemies' attacks to herself, so the health plus 40% would be huge for her. So definitely try and prioritize Ascension for your characters when you can. Don't try and straight up just go through the adventure mode just as you will, as of course Ascension will eventually be necessary, as I did manage to hit the wall for myself around chapter 2, I would say area 10 here, and it just did get pretty rough going into chapter 3. So you will want to try and prioritize ascending your units and of course equipment. Now, we'll touch on equipment here a little bit as well. Depending on your units, you will have certain equipment. Of course, you can obtain equipment from the stages here in the dream world. So we do have doll equipment, and you'll have to go through certain areas for the certain equips that can be applied towards your mages, your witches, etc. So we do have certain equips for your guardians and all of the units such as compellers and so on. So depending on your units, you will of course do want to apply the highest rarity of equips. Now, depending on the stats they are lacking and of course the certain unit that they are, you may want to apply attributes such as attack to your damage dealers and more of the defense here for your guardians. Now, depending on the equips you do obtain for your units, of course guardians will receive the equips with health and attack, etc. As you can see here for my Fallen, as well as here on her armor, she does have here health and physical defense. Now, as you do obtain the higher difficulties of the equip stages, you will manage to obtain better and better equips. I do believe the higher rarity is the legendary equip, but for now, for myself, we do have here the 3-star purple rarity equips, and they do seem to be doing just fine for myself. I did prioritize leveling up the frontline equips, of course, in my case, a Fallen, so I did want to upgrade her equips so she can have more sustain and overall help my team survive, because once a Fallen goes down, basically my whole team goes down. So definitely prioritize the guardian here. Of course, you do want to base your formation on applying the tank in the front line and then going towards your healer in the back line. And for myself, I did have more of the damage dealer, the compeller here in the second slot. As for my backline, we do have the guardian here in the front row as well, and my damage dealers in the back line of the guardian. As of course, the guardian is the tank character, and you will want to have the guardian protecting your attacker, and of course the healer, which is more of the squishy unit, so definitely have them towards the back of the line here of your team formation. All right, everyone, so that'll pretty much do it for some of the tips I did have gathered up so far for Revive the Witch here. upon playing the game for the past few days. As you can see, I am only level 12, so maybe yourself may have some tips for myself here. So make sure to leave them in the comment section below if you do have any tips you would like to share to the viewers here as well. We are only level 12, so I did only gather up a few tips, but hopefully they did help you beginners out, as of course I have been playing for the past couple of days and have been trying to gather up as much information as possible to share with you all here on the channel. So make sure to let me know if these tips were helpful. I do apologize if I did go and scatter around the place a bit here in today's video, but I'll have timestamps up here on the video screen so you guys can skip towards a certain area of the video if you did want to hear a certain tip. So yeah, make sure to let me know if these tips were helpful in the comment section below, and if you did enjoy today's Revive the Witch video, make sure to leave a like on this one, and of course if you haven't done so or yet already, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you would like to be notified for more Revive the Witch content here on the channel, as well as we will be posting the game here a ton. Now in the next Revive the Witch video, I'll probably be diving into PvP a little bit, as we did obtain the PvP for myself just a few adventure stages ago. So it has been pretty fun, and I do want to dive into the PvP aspect of the game here, as well as the tier list of units you do want to prioritize for Revive the Witch in general. But before we do end this video off, I did want to showcase the guild here as well. Now we do have a guild. I did create it yesterday, so we do have the guild ID. I will have it linked into the description box below so you guys can copy the guild ID, and if you guys would like to join, feel free to request and I will approve your request here to the guild. So I'll be sure to have it linked in the description box below so you guys can copy and paste the guild ID into Revive the Witch. And of course, make sure to check out the description box below as well. We did create some channels for Revive the Witch, so if you guys are interested in chatting about the game, we do have some channels in the Discord server as well. But with all of that being said, I'll see you all in the next Revive the Witch video. As always, thank you all so much for watching.